Alright guys, come on up and get your paper out of the printer. It's finished.
Where's my lame paper?
This is so lame. You know what would be really cool?
What?
If they had something like this that printed in 3D.
That'd be so cool!
Yeah, I don't think they have
Well, of course
that.
not.
Did I hear you guys talk about how lean 2D printing is?
Yeah.
That's because it is. You should check out 3D printing.
What's that?
Printing is a process that uses the simple idea of two-dimensional printing and builds upon it, literally.
The basic idea is the printer lays down this polymer blend layer by layer, like almost a microscopic level, and each layer bonds to another one. Now the interesting part about it is it has the movable pieces. The way that they do that is, imagine if you had a U-shaped joint and a ball was supposed to sit in it that would turn. So as they're laying this, they're actually building the U-shaped joint around it, and when they hit the bottom part of that parabola, they put a sealant on the top. And then as they build up the parabola, it seals, and then they start putting the next pieces on top of it. So the sealant doesn't stick to the next level of bonding, and it allows it to move.
The printer gets the information it needs to create the object from one of two avenues. One being a computer program such as SolidWorks. The other is by way of a scanner, specially made to scan and recreate objects on a computer screen. From both of these sources, the information is sent to the printer and allows the printer to print the object. What happens in the printer proves to be very complex. A mechanism within the printer lays down layer upon layer of a blend of polymers and binders. Bonding occurs by way of heat. These layers ultimately build up to create a three-dimensional object. The smaller the layers are, the stronger the object will be. Once the object is completed, it is submerged in excess dust and must be cleaned off at a neighboring blow-off station. The blow-off station contains a hose and a closed space where the operator uses the hose and its air pressure to clean off the object. Many current 3D printers create objects with moving parts, and others print in solid pieces. The leading current companies include the Z Corporation, Objet, Dimension, and 3D Systems. The Z Corporation is the first company to offer a 3D printer that creates moving parts.
Okay, let's see if this really works. Can I really pull it hard?
Go for it, just as you would a real wrench.
Okay.
What do you think?
Wow.
The guy who came up with it, he had a really simple explanation. He said, when I was looking at a printer, I noticed that everything you print right now is 3D.
In this King Tut model, layers of cardboard are put on top of each other just like the polymers of a 3D printer. There are earlier versions of 3D printing, such as molding metal.
Wait, so this is like not actually that new of an idea because you said they had 3D printing for a while?
Yeah, they were larger machines and they typically worked in metal, and what the metal did was melted down, and the printer, like you would lay out ink, would lay out metal, and then as it cooled, it hardened.
Okay.
So they called it 3D printing, but it really, a lot of people said, no, it's really just like a mold or something like that.
After they came up with the polymer-based 3D printer, the objects were still just solid. The next improvement of 3D printing was when the objects were able to have moving parts.
Education will benefit greatly from 3D printing. Teachers will be able to print out models to better help students understand a topic, such as shapes in a math class or atoms and the body parts in a science class. Teachers won't be the only ones experiencing the advantages of 3D printing. Students will be able to scan and create models for themselves. They'll be able to print replacement parts for computers and build things in the classroom that was never possible before. 3D printing will enable us to take molds of students' hands, which we can individually customize and can then help a physically disabled student. Now we will see what Mr. Harrison has to say about some flaws and benefits of 3D printing.
The biggest flaw is definitely that polymer bond and the time. I mean, you're going to print something, it's going to take 2 or 3 hours to print. The time involved, like you have to scan it, input it, do all these things. It is a labor-intensive journey. The students will actually have to print something and then get it the next day. The other benefits, not only expanding the students' thoughts of who in the world knows what's out there, maybe I can come up with something too, giving them something that's a technology that I have a feeling is going to have a huge impact in the next couple of decades, it still is a realistic job when they leave here.
3D printing is going in many different directions for the future. While materials improve and the cost and size of things go down, the possibilities are endless. Outside the classroom, 3D printing has an even broader amount of uses. The medical field can use the printers to create replacement body parts as well as medical supplies. Other companies can create parts for their technology.
They go, I need to put this in the hands of somebody to where they're seeing it's normal. 3D printing, oh yeah, we've been doing that for years, so that they can think about the next step. The people who see it for the first time are like, I can't believe we can do this. They're going, that's all I've ever known. Then they'll come up with that next step. I think the 3D printers will get faster, smaller, and in home use. I made the joke that in 10 years from now, somebody will have their child print something going, I can't believe it took an hour to print this off Amazon.
So, yeah.
Wow, that was really cool. That was really informative.
That's 3D printing for you.
Go get your lame 2D piece of paper. I don't know. I don't think that's real.
I don't think that's real.
Where does that come from? I like your dance.
Like, Josh here. 3D printing.
That's real. Nice snack. But I don't think so. I don't even have any.